What an honor it is to make your acquaintance. That is such a strange sentence, right? Formal, almost theatrical, like you're meeting someone important for the first time. But sometimes this is exactly how our mind treats an old memory, like a guest of honor. It walks in and we stop everything. We give it the room. We listen. We replay what happened. We let it sit at the table with us. We let it take our peace, our body, our breath, our sleep, our whole emotional state. And the strange thing is that the event may be long over. The conversation is over. The conflict is over. The professional setback is over. The financial pressure is over. The humiliation, the fear, the disappointment, the moment when you felt misunderstood, unseen, judged, or unsafe, that moment is not physically happening now. But your body may still be reacting as if it is. And that is what the core of this episode is. Because so often we think we are stressed because of what happened back then. But in reality, we are stressed because the mind keeps playing the same old movie in the present moment, again and again. And because the movie feels so real, the body believes it. The past is not happening anymore. But the thought of the past can still be running your nervous system today. And this is where so many people lose years of peace without realizing it. They're not living in the past in some obvious way. They are not sitting every day saying, I want to go back there. They are functioning, working, taking care of children, running a business, going to meetings, driving, cooking, walking the dog, answering messages, doing life. But somewhere in the background, there is an old bottle opened, old wine, stale wine. And every now and then, the mind pours another glass. An old conversation, an old fear, an old conflict, an old financial worry, an old relationship pattern, an old version of yourself, an old moment where you felt powerless. And you drink from it again. Not because you want to suffer, but because the mind thinks there is something there, something to solve, something to understand, something to prevent, something to finally close, something to control. And the more you drink from it, the more the present starts tasting like the past. That is the danger of stale wine. It is not fresh anymore. It is not life happening now. It is not wisdom anymore. It is a replay that has stayed too long, that has been played too many times. We all do this in different ways. Maybe you replay a conversation where someone misunderstood you. Maybe you replay a work situation where you felt attacked or questioned. Maybe you replay a relationship moment where you should have been spoken sooner. Maybe you replay a time when money felt unsafe. Maybe you replay a decision you regret. Maybe you replay someone's words again and again, trying to finally find the perfect answer you should have given. And the mind says, I'm just thinking about it. But the body says something else. The body says, this is happening. The chest tightens, the stomach contracts, the jaw closes, the shoulders lift. Sleep becomes lighter, the mind becomes busy, the breath becomes shorter. You're sitting in today, but your whole system is responding to yesterday, and that is exhausting. I know this from my own life. There was a period after my life change where financial pressure felt very real. One income, three children, responsibilities, unexpected costs, the kind of moments where you open a bill or something breaks or something costs more than expected, and suddenly it is not only about that one cost anymore. It becomes a whole movie. I will not make it. I will not be able to take care of everything. What if this is how it will always be? What if I cannot give my children what they need? What if everything becomes too heavy? And yes, the circumstances were real. The responsibilities were real. The costs were real. It's not about pretending life is not difficult sometimes. It's not about saying, oh, it's only a thought, so it does not matter. Life can be hard, pressure can be real. There are moments where you genuinely have to make decisions, take actions, look at numbers, solve problems, ask for support, do what is needed. But there is the circumstance, and there is a movie. And the movie is where so much extra suffering begins. Because one unexpected cost was not just one unexpected cost anymore. My mind would make it and turn it into a whole future, a future where I would not make it, a future where everything would be on me forever, a future where I would always struggle, a future where I would somehow fail the people I love most. And my body responded to that movie as if it were already true. I had tension, stiffness. I needed a massage. I went to physiotherapy. I tried different things just to sleep better, herbs, movement, exercise. And at that time, I even over exercised. Movement helped me release tension, yes. But there was also a period where it became almost another way to run from the pressure in my own body. Because when you are moving hard enough, you do not have to feel everything. When you are exhausted enough, maybe the mind becomes quiet for a moment. But the movie was still there. And I knew the replay was not good for me. I knew it was doing me harm. It was not like I thought, this is useful, let me continue. No, I knew. But knowing and stopping or being able to stop are not the same thing. The mind is very clever. It says, I'm only trying to protect you. It says, if we think about this enough, we will prevent it from happening. It says, if we replay the danger, we will be prepared. It says, if I hold on to the fear, we will not be surprised. But that is the illusion. Sometimes the mind replays the past because it thinks repetition will create protection. But often repetition only keeps the wound open. It does not protect you from the future. It pulls the past into today, and the body pays for it. And this is something I started to understand more deeply through my own inner work. I could see that what I was feeling was not usually coming from what was happening now. It was coming from a thought, a memory, a story, a scenario, a movie I was playing in my mind. And once you really begin to see that, something shifts. Not always instantly, but something opens. Because then you can ask, is this happening now? Or am I watching the old movie again? And that question matters because a memory can feel like the past visiting you, but it is still a thought happening now. It is not the event itself, it is the mind replaying the event. And that replay can be incredibly convincing. This is where I love the project metaphor. Imagine your mind like a whole movie studio. You are the script writer, you are the editor, you are a director, and you are the main character. You're also the audience, and then you sit down and watch the movie you just created, and you forget it is a movie. You cry, you tense, you get angry. You defend yourself, you prepare arguments, you feel fear, you feel shame, you feel that old pain again. And it feels real because you are watching it from inside the character. But still, it's a movie. It's a play on demand. And this is the part we forget. You can stand up and leave the theater. You do not have to keep watching every time the mind presses play. You do not have to sit through the whole scene. You do not have to rehearse the same conversation again. You do not have to drink another glass of stale wine just because the bottle is there. You can stand up and leave the theater. You do not have to keep watching every time the mind presses play. You do not have to sit through the whole scene. You do not have to rehearse the same conversation again. You do not have to drink another glass of stale wine just because the bottle is there. And this is not about forcing yourself to forget. It is not about denying what happened. It is not about pretending the past did not matter. It did matter. Some things shaped you, some things taught you, some things hurt, some things changed the way you saw yourself. Relationship, work, money, safety, trust, love. And we do not heal by saying it was nothing. No, it was something. But it is not everything. And this is not happening now. There is a difference between learning from the past and living inside the replay. Learning from the past gives you wisdom. Replaying the past gives you the same stress in a different room. Learning says, what did this teach me? Replaying says, let me suffer through this again, just in case. Learning helps you make a different choice next time. And replaying makes you feel trapped in the same emotional moment. Learning gives you clarity. Replaying keeps you hooked. Learning allows the experience to become part of your wisdom. Replaying turns it into identity. And that is another very important piece. At some point, we may start using the past as proof. Proof that life is always hard. Proof that people cannot be trusted. Proof that money is never safe. Proof that we are alone. Proof that we always choose wrong. Proof that we are not enough. Proof that the future will look like the worst moment behind us. But the past is not proof of who you are. It is an experience you lived through. It may have shaped you. It may have taught you. It may have left a mark. but it does not get to write the whole story of your life unless you keep handing it the pen. And sometimes we do, without realizing it. We wake up and the mind starts again. What if it happens again? What if I end up there again? What if I am not safe? What if I cannot handle it? What if they judge me again? What if I fail again? And suddenly, today is no longer today. Today becomes a continuation of the old fear. And this is why awareness is so important. Because without awareness, we do not know we are in a replay. We think we are being realistic. We think we are being responsible. We think we are preparing. We think we are solving. But if the same thought keeps making your body tight, if the same movie keeps making you feel helpless, if the same memory keeps stealing your presence, maybe it is not wisdom anymore. Maybe it is stale wine. And the first step is not to fight it. The first step is to notice. Oh, this is the old movie. This is not happening right now. This is a thought. This is a memory appearing in the present. My body is reacting to the replay, not to the room I'm sitting in. That alone can create space. Not always complete peace, but space. And in that space, you can breathe. You can feel your feet. You can look around. You can come back to the moment. You can ask, is there something useful to learn here? Or am I just replaying the old movie? And if there is something useful, take it. Take the lesson. Take the wisdom. Take the boundary. Take the decision. Take the next practical step. But if there is nothing new, if it is only the same loop, the same argument, the same fear, the same sin, then maybe you can gently say, I have watched this enough. I do not need another screen. I'm here now. And that may sound simple, but it's powerful. Because every time you stop following the replay, you are teaching your mind something new. You are teaching it that you do not need to suffer again in order to stay safe. You are teaching it that the past can be respected without being obeyed. You are teaching it that a memory can appear and pass. You are teaching it that you can learn without living there. For me, movement was one of the ways back, especially dancing, because when I danced, I had to be present. I could not be fully lost in the movie and fully in my body at the same time. The music, the movement, the breath, the feeling of my body in space, it brought me back. Not because it erased the past, but because it reminded me I'm here, now, in this body, in this moment. And sometimes that is what we need. Not another hour of thinking, not another analysis, not another replay, but a return to the body, to the room, to the breath, to what is real. Because the mind can travel anywhere. It can go 10 years back. It can go 5 years forward. It can create a future where everything falls apart. It can create a past where you are still explaining yourself. But your body is always here. This breath is here. This room is here. This moment is here. And peace is usually closer to this moment than to the movie. So when the memory comes back, you do not have to panic. You do not have to shame yourself for having it. You do not have to say, why am I thinking about this again? The mind brings all things sometimes. That is what minds do. But you can choose how much attention you give it. You can notice the thought without building a house inside it. You can feel the body without believing the whole movie. You can say, this is a memory, not a moment. This is a replay, not reality. This is stale wine. I do not have to drink it. And then you come back again and again. This is also what letting go really means to me. Letting go does not mean the past never happened. It does not mean you approve it. It does not mean you forget the lesson. It does not mean the other person was right. It does not mean you pretend it did not hurt. Letting go means you become okay enough with the past that it no longer gets to haunt the present. It means you stop using the past as evidence against yourself. It means you stop letting one chapter define the whole book. It means you stop giving an old thought the power to decide what your body feels today. And that is freedom. Not the freedom of never remembering, but the freedom of not being pulled into the replay every time memory knocks. Because memory may knock, it probably will. An old thought may appear. An old fear may come. An old story may try to begin. But you do not have to open the door. Invite it in. Pour a glass and spend the evening with it. You can notice. You can bow to the lesson. You can take your body back. You can return to now. So today, ask yourself, what old movie am I still replaying? What memory am I still treating as if it is happening now? What stale wine am I still drinking from? Is there anything new to learn here? Or am I just keeping my nervous system inside an old scene? And when this memory appears, what happens in my body? Do I tighten? Do I shrink? Do I prepare for danger? Do I start arguing in my mind? Do I leave the present? Do I stop seeing what is actually here? These questions are not meant to shame you. They are meant to wake you up because the moment you see the movie, you are no longer completely inside it. The moment you see the thought as thought, it loses some of its power. The moment you feel your feet on the floor, you are already returning. And that is the beginning of letting go. Not a dramatic goodbye, not a perfect emotional cleanse, just a simple, honest noticing. This is not happening now. I am replaying. I can come back. And you can. You can come back to the room, to the breath, to the body, to the life that is actually here, to the person you are now, to the wisdom you gained, to the strength you built, to choices that you're making today. Often the reason we keep replaying these past chapters is because we're still carrying the weight of external opinions. When I went through my own transitions, well meaning people, even my own family, didn't understand why I would leave a stable path. They judge it. And if the fear of other people's judgment or the shame of not being understood is what keeps your nervous system locked inside this old replace, I invite you to look at the link below this episode. I created a practical $7 course called Judgment. It is quiet, supportive space built to help you dismantle the fear of external approval so you can stop sacrificing your present peace just to explain your past choices to the world. And let me finish with this. The past may have happened, but you do not have to keep living inside the replay. You do not have to repair the past to be free in this moment. You do not have to keep drinking from an old bottle to prove that it matters. It mattered. You learned, you survived, you grew. And now you can put the glass down. It's time for a new wine. Welcome home.